everyone, and happy Black History Month. What are you doing for Black History Month? I am going to attend events. Delta Sigma Theta is having a wonderful event on February the 19th, so look for that. And I am just appreciating my Blackness and who I am as a woman, as a Black, beautiful woman, honey. Hello, 2 snaps up. Well, several snaps up. And so today, I want y'all to see my shirt I'm wearing. Y'all ready? Queen! Because I am a queen. And I am interviewing another queen today. I'll tell y'all more about her a little later. But before we do anything, I got to do the housekeeping. Y'all know we got to do housekeeping. And I want to encourage you to like and share my podcast with everyone. You can reach me on YouTube. You can see all of my videos, all of my podcasts on YouTube. And I made it a bit.ly link, so it'll be easier for you guys, but it's bit.ly/Just Jen Live. So that makes it a lot easier for you guys. And you can also visit me on my website, www.jennoonspotting.com. And guess what? I have a sale on all my merchandise this month for Black History Month because you guys are just everything to me besides my husband and my baby and of course God. And so I am giving you 20%. Yes, I know, not 5, not 10, not 15, but 20% off of all my merchandise on my website, www.jennoonspotting.com. And so I have t-shirts and cups and workout cups, and I have sweatshirts and just a lot of wonderful merchandise. And of course, my books, I think they're #1. So 20% off, guys. So please go to my website, check it out. I have a blog. I'm going to start putting my podcast on there as well. And you won't be disappointed, but 20% off of all my merchandise. Oh, and you have to use the code word BLACK 2022. That's Black, BLACK 2022. Okay, so let's get right into it. Today's queen, her name is Jamie Keith. And let me read a little bit of her bio for you guys. There's, those are my magic glasses. Well, Jamie Keith is a minister, artist, consultant, educator, entrepreneur, community connector, eternal optimist, and most importantly, she's a mother. And she brings an extraordinary approach to whatever she sees before her. Now, Jamie's eclectic professional background includes preaching and teaching the gospel, business consulting, community outreach, special events and youth services. Some of her accomplishments, experience coupled with program development and implementation in the areas of employment, professional skills, youth educational and social skills programming, post-secondary education, reentry for adults, retail banking, and mortgage services. Wow, look at her. I told you she was all that. She graduated from the University of Louisville, and she is a social entrepreneur. She also graduated with that as a major, social entrepreneur. Jamie Keith, she understands the importance of investing in Black, Indigenous, people of color like me, and women-led business communities, so it may reach its full potential. And currently, she serves as small business coach and community director for L Home CDFI and Bates Memorial Baptist Church's Christian Education Department, which is how I got to know Jamie. Jamie has also worked for the Kentucky career centers, neighborhood to house. But you know, her biggest passion is for young people. She's led both professional and volunteers with several youth-based agencies to work with students from kindergarten to college. And so she's going to tell us about all that, because I could just go on and on about Jamie. She is amazing. And so I'm going to bring her in. Hello, Jamie. So good to see you.
So good to be seen.
Girl, you have never lied, okay? Girl, people are dropping like flies. I'm just so glad to be here and just to have this wonderful experience, just being a podcaster and all of that good stuff. And girl, it's just amazing. It's amazing.
I'm excited about what you're doing. I'm loving you and doing this part 2 of life. You living your best life, like you said. I love it.
Yes, living my best life.
I know that's right.
Ain't going back and forth with you ninjas. Yes. You thought I was going to say the bad word, didn't you?
No, I knew that. I knew you weren't going to do that.
But I was telling everyone that it's Black History Month and that we're celebrating all month, and we're having events that we're doing and just trying to be the queen. And I showed everyone my queen shirt that I am. And I was like, we have another queen. So that's when I had to talk about you. So girl, let's get into this. Let's get into it right now. Tell us about your whole conglomerate there, because I read all the things that you're into, and I was like, this girl, she has this woman, excuse me. But you know, we women are like, well, I don't mind you calling me a girl. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, you can say girl, I'm a female, I'll take it. Look.
I know, right? So this woman has a conglomerate, okay? And I know JC and me, your business is Jesus Christ and me, but I'm going to say the subtitle is Jamie's Conglomerate and me, okay? And me, all right?
That's cute. That's cute. Well, I definitely want to keep Christ first and foremost. But you know, my life, I have been so blessed and favored, and I know that. And I'm not saying it to brag on me, because all I did was say, okay, I'm willing. And I think that's something that I can share with any and everybody. If you leave yourself open, and of course you do need discernment, but if you leave yourself open, God can use you and he can bless you in so many ways, much more than he can if your hands are closed and somebody's got to pry them open. Right. So for me, I'm that person that's
Say that again for the people in the back, girl. You can't go around like this with closed hands and expect for God. How's he going to get it in there? How? You got to have grains of sand to get in there.
You have to be willing. And that's why, you know, the God gave me the vision, JC and me, because not only do I want to, you know, I remember when the bracelet, What Would Jesus Do? The WWJD was out. I love it. I've got one somewhere. I can't find mine, but I've moved a few times since that came out. So I probably lost it. But, you know, I hate that it was a fad, because it really needs to be a lifestyle and a decision that you make. When you make that decision, you need to stick with it, because there's going to be peaks and valleys, highs and lows, goods and bads. And Jesus told us that in the Bible, you know, it's going to be these days, right? So it's not a bunch of just lilies and roses everywhere, but, you know, being willing to leave your spirit open, you know, because the things that we think are who we are. And the things that we think are the things that we eventually are going to say. And the things that we say have the power, especially if we keep repeating them and we genuinely believe them when we say them, are going to come into fruition. So it's very careful. You know, the Bible tells us, you can call it a blessing or a warning, that we speak life and death in the tongue. And so we have to be cognizant of that as believers when we walk, what we say. Yeah. You know, so I'm just a big believer in that. And I do believe in leaving my hands open. When my hands are open, I can receive. When my hands are open, lots of times something's in them and I can give. You know, either way, that's what I want to be, as a vessel. And the best way to be a vessel is to be open.
Amen. Girl, that's a sermon. That's a mini sermonette right there, sister.
There you go. There you
Okay.
go.
I love you so much. So, um, now speaking of having open hands and being open and just trying new things, you
Yeah.
have so many job opportunities or career changers or things, businesses. You got this and that and that and this. I'd like for you to tell me of all, I want you to think about this, of all of your opportunities in business thing, parts of your conglomerate.
Oh,
Which
wow.
one do you think is your favorite or the one that you're the most passionate about?
With what I do, I kind of have a dichotomy working. So I do have my 9 to 5, which I am very happy to do. It doesn't feel like work until it's time for me to start figuring out some timesheets and things. But outside of that, it doesn't feel like work. I work, let me just do that first, for Home, which is acronym for Louisville Housing Opportunities and Micro Enterprise. And it
Mhm,
was developed in an effort by the powers that be that created it to help engage disenfranchised, which is mostly the BIPOC community, which is
mhm,
Blacks, Indigenous peoples, and people of color that
mhm.
keep missing out on the money. It's nothing worse than
Hello.
coming to the table and nothing left but crumbs, or else finding out yesterday's business on the next day. And so you miss out on things. So Our Home is designed to create financial opportunities, primarily in the form of loans, to individuals and to businesses that are trying to develop or grow. So we have a consumer pocket right now. We do loans to help people with home improvement and to also help if people have, gotten in a bind with their home taxes. We do
Mhm.
not want us to lose our homes. And the most important representation, and I still say this goes all the way back, y'all. Now think about this: with voting, with slavery, with post-slavery, you had to own some land to vote. And so if you think about our population, we are, and I don't have exact percentages, I will just suffice to say, I'm confident in making a statement that we are more than half renters, possibly
Mm.
70 to 80% renters. So let's just think, if voting was still based on that today, where would we be? We'd be voiceless just about. And so, there's always tricks coming out of somebody's sleeve to keep our voices down as it is. So
Mhm.
the last thing we want is for people to lose property. So we have money set aside to do that as well. On the business end, and I'm very excited about this, I believe for people of color, especially Black people, this is our time.
Mm.
Whatever that vision is that you've been holding on to, but felt like ain't nobody going to give me no money, or I don't have the money to. That kind of thinking, self defeatism, or just maybe even being pounced down by the people that you've shared it with, that
Oh,
because they are not
hello.
visionaries. They're
Hello.
not visionaries. Everybody's not a visionary, and that's okay. Everybody doesn't need to be a visionary. The body has different parts. So if we were
Yeah.
all made of hands, we'd look real stupid. So remember that, everybody doesn't have to have the same capacity for thinking. You have to be careful where you share, with whom you share, how you share, and when you share. But if you know that you have a business idea that is really good, or you already are in business and trying to grow it to the next level, or
Mhm.
you just need some sustainability, you need to come and check us out at Home. I'm a small business coach there, and I serve also as a community connector for the organization to help us understand that this money is out there, because for some reason we've been one of the best kept secrets in Louisville. So we're working hard to change that.
Well, I'm gonna do a little blurb on you, and I'm definitely gonna focus on that. That's amazing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
told me some about it, and my husband's family has a house in the West End that needs some TLC.
yes,
And
yes,
it needs a lot, because everybody's out of the house. And
yeah,
and his nephew stays there. Well, I don't even think he's staying there now. So it just needs a lot of love and
yeah.
attention.
And
So
there's a
yeah.
a lot of homes in the West End that are still owner occupied. And so we want to do our due diligence in making everybody aware. You don't have to use that home, but we do have a wonderful loan package. And we also have worked to make it even better than it was. So if you thought you knew
Right.
about us before, come check us out again. So I'll say that.
Yes. Yeah, I had to take some notes because girl, I want to I want to really hit that. It's important.
It is.
Okay, so I know you've worked with several people with El Home and JC and me and being a coach and working at the church. Girl, whew, I'm exhausted. Just talking about all
If
that
you put
that
it
you
on
do.
paper, it's all exhausting to me too. But I just get up and I do what part of the day or what part of the assignment I'm on for that day. So I'm on my El Home assignment all week, all the time. But I do also have my business, and
Mhm.
it is the overarching is Amani Gifts, and so there's a
Oh, yeah.
multifaceted piece with that. Amani Gifts Inc. Or I should say LLC as it currently is the umbrella for JCME, which is a Christian clothing and gift line.
Mhm.
We are looking to establish a brick and mortar. And so I'll just
Oh.
stop and say that much because I'm very excited. I've been at various pop-ups and had my own trunk show too to initially get started. And I
Mhm.
take orders from people individually, but
Yes.
we really want to move into the brick and mortar section of this and establish a bona fide Christian, Christian-based gift and accessories shop. So be on the lookout for that.
Hey.
Yeah. And I would love to see it get franchised. So, first things first, let's get this first brick and mortar going. Then we
Right.
also have Amen Events. And
Mhm.
Amen Events is, we wanted to put a spin on it to let you know that we're Christian based,
Mhm.
but we do events such as grand openings. We've done book signings. We've done people that have businesses that want to just do a special event, and we
Mhm.
do quite a few weddings. So
Okay.
really excited about that. Weddings are becoming a niche area for us, and so we love doing them. We're very budget friendly, but not cheap and cheesy. There's a way to go about it.
Mhm.
Oftentimes, I
Mhm.
think that brides, and of course, it's a special day that you only want to do once and visualize doing once, and you want to go all out. And not only with the accessibility and availability of so
Mhm.
many more types of ways to get that beautification, but
Mhm.
also more savvy ways to get it done. You just
Right.
don't have to go broke. It doesn't have to cost the same as a house or a car to get married and have a beautiful day. And so
It
that is
really
what we
doesn't.
specialize. It does not. A lot of people think it does, but it does not. So
And
we
you know what? I'm going to piggyback on that. Call in your friends for when I got married, because
mhm,
I love people. So I've done a lot for people, right? And
absolutely.
so one of my friends, the best advice I received was, Jen, people love you and they're going to offer things to you. Take it.
Yes.
Whatever they offer, take it. So my wedding reception was at the Hyatt, and a little boy that was in
See?
my class, um, he was the executive something. I can't even think right now. Executive chef. So he was
Oh,
like, I told him, I was like, I told him what I wanted. And he's like, okay, Jen. And I said, well, and he was like, he had all these ideas, like receptive food before the food, for when people were waiting for us to
see?
get there, the
Yeah.
ice sculpture, the cake. I was like, oh, good Lord, that sounds expensive. I said, well, how much is all this going to cost me? And he said, how much you want to pay? I said, uh, $8 a person. He said, okay, girl, it was more
See?
than, I was supposed to pay like $36 a plate. This was 20 years ago, 21 in August, years ago.
Yes.
And I got it for
Goodness,
$8
child.
a person.
And so you never know how God's going to bless you. Why? Because you
Girl.
were open and because you're an open-handed person. And so, I just want people to really be encouraged. Even with JC and me, it all started because God gave me this vision. I really mean this sincerely. Sitting
Mhm.
still one day, this was back in 2007. So it's been a long journey, you all.
Okay.
And even in
Okay.
giving me this vision, I did not act on it immediately because I had a small child. I had a husband with some
Mhm.
medical issues. I was really knee
Mhm.
deep doing the things that I was doing at church at the time. So, everything in its place and time. God may give you a vision today that's not for today, or He may
Right.
give you something that literally is for today. So, you just, again, need to have some wisdom and discernment in moving. However, in this vision, He explained to me, I'm everywhere. You know that because, we hang out. And he gave me, because I sewed, and now at that time I did a lot of seamstress work for people too.
Oh,
The
I
vision
remember
of
that because for the
incorporating, yeah,
play.
yes. And I have been doing that. God, I've been sewing since I was a little girl, but
Mhm.
sewing for people I've been doing since my teens. And he gave me these different visions. I won't go into detail on purpose, but I will suffice to say that he showed me different ways to incorporate
Mhm.
him in the clothing. And so we see different t-shirts. I do them too, with different sayings, but it's beyond that. It is beyond that. And it's because I'm everywhere present and nowhere absent. So we have
Mm.
clothing designs that go to the office, um, things that you can wear if you're going out on the town, things that you can wear if you're hanging out with the family, just all types of clothing. It's not limited to t-shirts. I love the t-shirts too. And like I said, I do them too, but
Mhm.
not just that. There's so many different ways to express that walk. So
I
many
wish
ways.
I had one on right now because I sure would be. I need to
Well, I
go
would
and
have
get
worn
some
one.
stuff.
Like I said, I wasn't sure how the background might be, so I just wore a solid top. But that's okay. That's just that much more to see and be surprised with when we show up in person.
Yes, I love it. But
Yeah.
I was leading up to a question, and then we started talking. But I was trying to say, of all of your many, many jobs, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Ask me which one was the most, I don't want to say important, but the one that I enjoy the most, maybe, or the one that
Yeah.
means the most to me.
Yeah, which one do you enjoy? No, you've already asked that. Well, no, you answered the passionate one. You're more
Yeah.
the most passionate about L Home. And
Well, I'm
the rest
actually
of
most passionate about JC and me, but I love
oh,
what I do with L Home. That's my day job, and I'm not going anywhere because I want to continue to be able to have that influence in the community as
okay.
long as I possibly can. However, I have an extreme passion for what I do with JC and me because ministry is my number one thing. And
Right.
you don't have to always be behind a pulpit to minister. I
Amen.
mean,
Ooh,
I have
girl.
done it behind a pulpit many times. However, some of my favorite times ministering have been in the grocery, have been on the street, have been in other people's homes. And so you never know when the opportunity is going to come for you to minister and how you, and it still can, like you just said, I did a mini sermon, a few moments ago. You never know when that opportunity is going to come and how it's going to come. And so
Right,
I've been
because it's
be
in
able to do
you,
that.
right? Once
It's
if
got to come
something
out
is in
somewhere.
you and you're passionate and you love it, it's going to come out.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter where you are. It's just going to
no,
come out.
it is.
And let me see. Well, who first encouraged you? I mean, how did you get started with all these businesses, all this beautiful conglomerate? How did all this start?
That is a good question. I'm trying to think when you said who is the first. Uh, I don't know if I could say the first, but I can tell you who the foremost person has been for me. I think when it comes to the first, that um, I've always seen myself as an entrepreneur. As a little girl, I just didn't know what that word at the time.
Right.
However, I'd have known that word then, I would have told people that's what I am. My favorite toys, even though I loved my Barbies and I loved my baby dolls, my favorite toy was a cash register.
Oh,
And I grew up saying I was going to be a banker
ooh.
originally. And, so I always wanted to influence somebody's finances. That's just
Mhm.
always been something I wanted to do. And I always wanted to help somebody. And I would find myself oftentimes in, my circles that I would be in school or in on the street or whatever, that I
Mhm.
was the go-to person. Like, well, maybe you should talk with Jamie about it, see what she thinks about it. And so I've always been in that space as well. So
Mhm.
I think that just the life that I was blessed to live in the early years set
Mhm.
me on that trail. However, the most influential person, I think, when it comes to me thinking of myself and actually moving in the direction of business, is my friend, sister, mentor, Mary Jefferson. I'm outing her today, Mary E. Jefferson. And she has also been wind beneath my wings, literally. She
Mhm.
has a serious entrepreneurial spirit of her own and has done a great deal. I don't want to do too much on her dossier because she's a very private person as well. But I will suffice to say that she's worked in metro government and done other work that has expanded itself in the social services world in so many ways, and also founded the African American Women's Literary Series many years ago,
Oh,
which
wow.
has served as a catalyst for so many people that are out here doing their thing now. And I mean, I can say that because I actually was, like an administrative assistant to her in the beginnings of that. We met each other when I was on a temp assignment where she was
Oh,
working, and we just hit it off. She kept walking past me that one day. I'll never forget that. This is like in the 80s. She kept walking past me, or was the early 90s? Anyway, she walked past me because of this outfit that I had on. I had on a tie-dye purple and like teal jumpsuit that I had made. And I thought it was really cute, right? Well, she kept walking past me and looking at it. And finally she asked me in a conversation if I made it. Well, that was like a panic button because I was like, does it not look like it's off of a rack? Does it look like I messed up somewhere? And it wasn't that. She said, no, it looks perfect. Well, I thought it did, but I just wanted to make sure. But she said, I've never seen anything like it. That's why I thought you must have made that. And so we started having, conversations from then on, and I did some sewing for her as well. And then when she started embarking in these other areas, she took me on that ride with her. And we've done business consulting over the
mhm,
years, the grant
mhm,
writing. And then, when I had shared about my business dream originally, the JC&Me piece,
mhm.
she is the one that like lit a match and said, you need to come on and let's do it now. Cause we've been knowing each other for so long. So she knew about that vision I'd had way back then. And it took like 10 years, but 10 years later, I started it, and we've just been moving forward, and it's been a wonderful progression. There have been some stumbling blocks along the way, just simply because of life and
Life.
other things that
Mhm.
I've allowed to take precedence over it, but it's never gone anywhere, and so it's steadily growing. So we're looking
What
for big
God
new vision.
has for you is for you. I've
Absolutely,
learned that,
absolutely,
you
and
know.
all I do is continue to grow in this area, and it's just
Mhm.
when the brick and mortar comes, it's going to take care of itself. That's what I'm really excited
I love it. I
about.
love it.
Yeah.
That's your encourager and your supporter and your is she also your biggest cheerleader, would you say?
She is, and so is my daughter. And my daughter is
Oh,
her name is Imani, and that's who I've actually named the business after. Imani Gifts, the umbrella business itself. Yeah, because
yes,
Imani means faith,
yes, it does.
and it's someone that I want
Swahili. It's a
to.
Swahili word. Black History
Yes,
Month,
that's
Swahili.
right, and I want to leave this to her. So in my posterity, that's what I want.
Oh,
Yeah. So
sweet.
it's a 360 for me.
Yes, yes, yes. If you could change anything about your journey, what would you change and why?
Well, I have asked myself that question a few times every so many years
Mhm.
because I feel like some days, everyone has those days and feel like I could be further along, or I could have done this, or I could have done that. Now, I'm going to tell you the answer to that question. I'm also going to say that the way my journey has been is the way it was supposed to be.
Amen.
And it's because of the things that I have run into, whether they were um I don't even know if I want to say negatives. There are things that I would prefer not to have experienced or had to do or go through.
Mhm.
However, they have given me the strength that I have. I have an inner strength, Jen, um, that I think sometimes is puzzling for people because I don't break down, or it's not that I don't show emotion because I'm a compassionate person and have that. However, I've gotten to the point now where things don't worry me. They
Right.
don't bother me like they used to.
Yes.
So, one of the things that I would think about if I did change anything is that I wish that the confidence that I have, not some in me, yes, but
Mhm.
in me because of Christ in me. I
Right.
wish I'd have had that type of confidence in my 20s because no telling where I might be at this point. Sometimes I feel like, me and my matter of fact, Mary J, we sometimes joke we could have been Oprah. So, if I'd have had some of that gumption that I have today, the fortitude, the um, determination to be able to stand still in the middle of a huge windstorm, to be able to hold onto what I know that I know that I know versus being coerced or, feel shaky about what I know based on others continuing to try to pound their version into me. If I would not have had those types of stumbling blocks, God only knows. However, as I've said, with those delays, my promises have still been kept. And in those delays, I've been able to run into situations where I've been able to share that with others and hopefully prevent them from falling in those same types of traps. So it's definitely been worth my while.
Oh, I love it. Because what doesn't break us just makes us stronger. And the fact
Absolutely.
that you can use your testimony to uplift someone else or to even prevent them from making the same mistakes you did. I mean, I just, for myself, I definitely have a testimony with different things that happened in my life. And, I don't mind telling people and sharing with people, especially like with my books. I mean, it took a while for me to get to where I was. When God told me to write the books, I wrote the books. I was retired. I was like, oh,
There you go.
But yeah, God, it's all in God's timing, and his timing is the best timing because
It is.
all of that you had that you have going on right now, because you're all that. Okay. If you had all of that confidence and self-assuredness in the 20s, it might have made you think that you were too much, you might have been too muchy for us. Okay.
You're right. That is a possibility. Yeah.
Or you could have just had so much and just blew it all. Or, you might have, you know what I'm saying? You might have had gaslighting friends that like, oh yeah, Jamie, you got the big head, girl. Yeah. And I don't see you doing that, but I'm just saying there are people that you would think, oh, they never, and then they are. And it's like, oh, really?
And then sometimes too, we feel like we've missed out on some really good stuff. And I will never forget, and I live by this mantra that my mother gave me that she got, I think, from Robert Schuller. She's listened to him on the Crystal Cathedral. And he said something that was very simple yet profound. Sometimes we have to say no to the good so that we can say yes to the best. And there's some good things that I would love to have done.
That again. Say it again. I want to hear it again. I want to write that down. Woo, girl, that was good.
And I don't want to take credit for it. That's why I like to say how I got it and where she got it.
From your mama.
Sometimes we have to say no to the good so we can say yes to the best. Because there are some really good things that I could have gotten into, opportunities that I passed up. Even with, like I explained to you all, the vision that God gave me for JC and me, if I'd have delved into it at that time, I may have had some minor successes in it. However, now I'm on a platform where it's could go in a much larger direction. Because for me, it's not just a few things. And I said this years ago when I started, it's not a fad, it's a movement, it's a lifestyle, it's not, I don't want it to be a fad. I don't want it to be WWJD and then it disappears. I don't want it to be a fed rock. I want it to be a piece of who we are. Like if you say Kleenex, people think Kleenex. When you say Starbucks, people know Starbucks. It's not a fad. And so, I'm saying that naming retailers, but in the sense of what we want to represent with JC and me, it is coming out, a coming out of sorts. People say they're Christians, but people are still a little shaky about saying that. Not me. So I'm pulling from the word in every aspect of the way the word works for us if we work the word. So, the mantra for JC and me is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
That's my favorite verse. Romans 8:28, girl.
That's what the whole basis is for JCME, and that is because he's everywhere present, nowhere absent, and we can do all things. So I can go to work and represent him. I can be on the street and represent him. I can go into business and represent him. I can go here and represent him. I can go into school. I know it's supposed to be quote unquote, you can't mix church and state. Well, guess what? I'm not mixing them. This is who I am. It's my
Exactly.
being. So it's going to, like we said a minute ago, it's going to come out somewhere, some kind of way. And
Yes.
when people open the door, because there are several Nicodemus moments that we have in life where we might be the Nicodemus, but oftentimes as believers, we have an opportunity to meet Nicodemus. And we
Yes.
need to see Nicodemus and address Nicodemus at that time.
Yes.
So I
If you
have
don't
had,
know who Nicodemus is, look him up.
right, sitting in the tree, talking to Jesus. So that's all you need to know right there, but look him up. But,
Yes.
we don't want to miss the Nicodemuses around us.
Yeah.
They're all over the place,
Yes, they
all over the
are.
place. And sometimes they're children, sometimes they are grown-ups, but whomever that is at that moment, they
Mhm.
need what we have. And
Yes,
and
ma'am.
sometimes it's in just, the greeting. Sometimes it's in a statement we make. Sometimes they need a full conversation. Sometimes if for children, it's in a clean hug. They can feel, that big mama kind of feeling, or my dad kind of feeling, whatever. But, we just need to be prepared at
Mm.
all times, because you just never know. You never know. And so that's
Amen.
how I like to live my life.
Girl, look, our time is up. Okay. But I know, girl, we could talk.
That was fast.
Call me on the phone, girl, so we can talk more. But we could talk all day, Jamie, because
Yes, we could. We're
you are
both talkers, so we know
so,
that.
girl, you're amazing. And I just love you with the love of Christ.
Right
You're
back
my
at
person.
you.
But before you leave me, I want
Yeah.
you to tell everyone how we can get in touch with you. Now, I want to say, you guys know that my show is all about CHI, community, family, the H, health and wellness over 50, the A, author life entrepreneurship, and then, of course, the I for identity. Now, Jamie has already talked about community, family. She just killing all of my little things. I did a little bit identity. Yeah, identity. She did identity. Okay, Jamie, you just on the topics. Okay. So,
Good.
but I want you to tell everyone before you leave me how my listeners can contact you. This is important.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, for the first portion of what I was talking about with El Home,
Mhm.
you can give me a call at 502-653-9897, or you can send an email to me. It's jkeith, which is Keith, at lhomeky.org, O-R-G. And that is to speak with me at any time about any of these topics, actually, because, I'll give you my personal information if you're talking to me about personal things. But if you're interested in, acquiring a loan, or talking about your business, or the ideal of starting a business, how to even get your ideas off the ground, I can speak to you about that. As far as my businesses that I do, I can be reached, and I would prefer via email right now, and I'll give you my number. But my email address is my name. It's jamiekeith50 @gmail.com. So that is JAMIEKEITH 50 @gmail.com. If you have a wedding or a special event coming up and you'd like to speak to me about that, or if you'd even like to speak to me about doing something custom for you that represents your walk with Christ, or what we already have in inventory, I'll be more than happy to speak with
Awesome. And we will have all the information about my sweet little Jamie in
you.
the description box. Okay. And so I love you, Jamie, again.
I love you,
Thank you
Jen.
so much. Thank you, thank
Thank
you,
you
thank
for
you,
this
thank you, thank
opportunity.
you. Oh
I so
no, the
appreciate it. I
pleasure is
love it.
all mine, honey. It's been all mine. But we're gonna see you later, Tater.
All righty. You all have a blessed day, and all you say and do.
Okay. Bye-bye,
Thanks.
darling.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed my interview with the fabulous Jamie Keith. And I want you to remember to smash that like button and share, 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 share this podcast. go to YouTube and share. Remember, you can get in touch with me on YouTube. It is bit.ly/justgin, GUSTGIN. Facebook, Just Jen for my books. If you want to know about my books, that's Just Jen. If you want my podcast, it's Just Jen Live. Instagram, Just Jen Live, and Twitter, Just Jen Live. So just check me out, any of those places. Thank you for joining me. And don't forget 20% off of all my merchandise on my website, www.jennoonspalding.com, or also you can do the bit.ly/author Jen. Thank you so much. It's been a blast. And y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day today. Bye.